Welcome back. It's Dark Purple Podcast here with episode 5.0. Today we have a little bit of a surprise. Not a little bit, a large surprise. We have our very first guest on Dark Purple Podcast, AzGhostt, and we got Chuk, the co-host, as well with us tonight. As always, it is PRPLxFox here, your other host, and we're live tonight. So, Chuk, take it away for me.
Hello. Thank you for tuning in. Back to the podcast, back to the boys buzzing.
Boys are buzzing.
It's PRPLxHunchochuk. And yeah, like Fox was saying, we got a guest today that's out of the PRPL realm. So I'm going to introduce him here and bring him in. His name's AzGhostt.
How you guys doing? It's AzGhostt. You can find me at twitch.tv/AzGhostt with 2 T's. I hope everyone's enjoying this awesome podcast with my boys, Chuk and Fox. How y'all doing?
Wonderful. The boys are buzzing.
We're good. How are you?
Dude, I'm slamming some beers right now. I'm good.
Ooh, what you drinking tonight?
Bud Light. That's all we had.
That's a shame. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that is a shame.
Hey, Chuck, I thought you're a Bud Light fan.
Bud Light Lime. Nah, Miller Light, dude.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Miller's good too.
Bud Light,
Yeah.
Bud Light Lime's good.
What's your guys' first thoughts on Coors Light?
Yeah. Like, if you hand me one, I'll drink it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not gonna buy it.
Yeah, I'm not
I
gonna.
mean, any free beer is a good beer, so that's
Free
what I got.
beer is the best beer.
Yeah.
Facts.
Put it in my hand, I'll drink it.
Exactly. So with that being said, enough of the beer talk. The boys are buzzing as always. We're going to talk a little bit about AzGhostt. He's a wonderful streamer. I believe you and we met first, I guess you could say meet or linked up on Twitter, was it?
Yeah, it was Twitter.
It's been a while.
I think I was just cycling through I think the Siege category on Twitter because you can always tag them or whatever. And I was like, dude, that's a pretty dope name. I was like, let me check this cat out. And so I went over and I was like, dude, I love the vibe. Like, it's chill. I was like, he's pretty good at the game too. So, all right.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I think I followed and then you messaged me like, yo, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. And then I was like, dude, no, I love helping out people. I like smaller streamers like us. I'm relatively small. I'm like really small, but yeah, man, I just like building a community, like helping people build a community, and it's fun. That's
what it's all about, man. Just building a community and being a part of the community is like one of the big things. It's absolutely phenomenal now, is becoming part of like several different communities. Like it's crazy. And it's been a little bit now. Like, I think you're one of like the OGs in the community, to be honest. Now it's been quite a bit. You've been a part of the Discord, and you watch my stream, I watch your stream. You play a lot of Siege. I saw you playing Doom. I'd like to hear your. Did you get through the whole game already, or
I have not.
What do you? What's your first thoughts on it?
Oh, dude, it's killer. Like, the game is so well done visually. I guess control wise, it's smooth. You go into the glory kills or whatever, it's like flawless. It's seamless. There's actually really good storyline behind it because it ties into the first one. Kind of picks up where the last one leaves off if you played the one.
I was gonna say, have you played the whole story?
Well, when I'm an older gentleman compared to you guys.
Hey, boomer!
But I played it way. I know. Get out of here, boomer! Get off my podcast, boomer. I played the original back on PC, like the first Doom I played, and of course it was all pixelated. It was like the first 3D, like 8-bit look.
Sure.
That was super fun because as a kid, you're like, oh, dude, there's so much blood and there's monsters and you're punching people in the face. And then they re-released the one in 2013 or no, 2016. Sorry. But that one was super fun. And then when I heard that they were releasing this one, I was like, I have to get this on PC. Like, regardless of reviews, regardless of this, but it's like living up to the hype and then surpassing it. It's so much fun. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. There are like if, that game had a lot of hype around it, and that's the one thing that like kind of scares me about games. That's why I've been asking a lot. I've been asking a lot of people about it, and like if they played it and stuff. I can't run it on my PC, so I probably won't play it at least until I get a PC to run it. But
Yeah.
there was a lot of hype around it, and that's why it kind of worried me. Is like all the hype that was around it, was it really that good? But I've heard the same review that you given from numerous amount of people, so the game's got to be phenomenal.
Like even if you can't stream it, if you just play it, it's just so much fun, dude. Like there's the story, the movement, because now in this one they introduced the dash motion and double jump. So they like built the maps to where you have to have these items in order to get through it. And of course, progression, you're going to get the dash, you're going to get the double jump. It's just progression of the story. But with all the hype around Doom Eternal came from the remake back in 2016, because it'd been, I can't even remember when the first one came out, like the original PC version. But the hype when the 2016, when they announced it in 2015 that it was coming out, the internet exploded because they were redoing a game that was such, so beloved at that time. And it was for so long because people still, I bet you can find people still playing it. And they did I think a Doom 64.
Oh, really?
Nintendo 64. Yeah, there's a Doom 64, but it was just a rehash of what the computer, it wasn't anything new. It was just you could play it on N64.
Gotcha.
But dude, I recommend to anybody that's listening, anybody that you tell your friends to get that game. It is so much fun.
Is it only on PC? So like the one thing that I was very confused about was, so when I saw the commercials at the very end where he's standing on all the dead bodies and I don't know what it's called, but it's like that lightsaber that he kind of, it's like flicks out. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, the sword, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the term for it, the word for it, but it like flicks out, and then all around it shows like the achievements and stuff. It says like they're all about PC, but then the commercial itself was an Xbox commercial. Is Doom on Xbox?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Like right now, you can get Doom, the first one that they remade for the 2016.
No shit.
You can get that on Game Pass, and you can play that first one. I actually downloaded it on my Xbox too because it's on Game Pass and it's free. I re-downloaded it.
No shit. You learn something new every day. You hear that? Chat, we might be ripping that here pretty soon. So, enough about Doom. You've streamed it. You're a streamer, like
I am
a textbook top-notch content creator. Tell us how you got into like gaming, how you got into streaming. Tell us a little bit about yourself and include your social security number, please, so we can all steal your ID.
Oh, do you want the credit card number too?
Oh, yeah.
Please and thank you.
Yes.
Okay. I'll send that to you guys.
Great.
No, I've been gaming all my life. NES, Super Nintendo, N64, PlayStation 2, 3, 4. It's just a gaming for me was a getaway because when I was a kid, I was so caught up in sports, and whenever I had downtime, I would just, pick up the sticks and just go at it with me and my friends. But streaming came into my life. I didn't even know what streaming was until late. I'm prior military. I'm retired Air Force.
Thank you for your service.
Retired.
Yeah,
Thank you for thanking me. It's always so weird. You see those memes like the awkward face when thank you for your service, and then it has a picture of a little girl like, I don't know what to do.
Is that what it's like?
Dude, honestly, like I know people, and I love when people thank me. I really do. But for me, it was kind of like it's a family tradition.
Okay.
I tried to fight it for so long because I didn't join in the military until I was like 22. Like I was late.
Oh, okay.
Like, there was no way in hell that I was joining at 18 because I would have gotten in trouble. I would have been dumb. So I think waiting and getting all the boozing and partying out of my system at a young age, and then going into it a little bit more mature, helped me. But anyway, I broke my back.
Oh wow!
In the military, so I had to have surgery on my lower back. I had an L4 L5 fusion and a disc replacement. So I was laid up in the bed for 3 months. Like I could get up and walk, but I had a walker. And my buddy was like, hey, you know, people stream on YouTube, like they stream live and they play video games and it's really fun. You know, if you're bored and you get tired of watching TV shows or movies. I was like, that's actually, you know, pretty good idea. Because I mean, before then I was still playing Call of Duty, you know, Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare and all that. So I was into gaming, but I couldn't game all the time because I couldn't get up to like get the controller or, you know, this and that. So they told me about Twitch. They told me that YouTube streams live. And I started, and at that time, because I broke my back and I was in surgery and my career with the military was, you know, practically over because I was on a medical board and they were like in the process of like getting rid of me. I got super depressed. I didn't know, like I was suicidal, which is awful, but it happens. But as soon as I started watching Twitch streams, like I found the streamers that I liked that made me laugh and I could see how it was helping me, and then seeing other people in their chats, you know, donate to them and be like, you know, you're helping me through a hard time right now. Thank you so much. Like they donated money or bits or subs and stuff like that. And I was like, dude, you know what? I was like, I'm going to do that one day. As soon as I get on my feet, as soon as this military thing's over, as soon as my career is over, I'm going to go stream. And, you know, God bless my wife because she was super supportive. You know, most women, most people don't know what streaming even is. They don't get it. They don't get the concept. But the easiest way to tell people about it, or how to, I don't know, how to describe it, you just reference sports. You know, you got your parents or older people that don't get it and just don't understand it. They're like, why are you just watching somebody play video games? Why don't you go play video games? And then your rebuttal can be, well, why are you watching football? Why are you watching hockey? Because you love that sport. You love that activity. You can't physically do it at their level or any level. Like you can go out and pick up basketball. That's cool. Or, you know, play catch with somebody. But if you're like wanting to see somebody that's extraordinary, that's really good at the game, knows about the game, and you're learning how to play the game. Like say you come into my chat when I'm playing Doom and you know nothing about the game series, you know nothing about the controls. You go into that person's stream and you just watch and you learn. You're like, I want to get that game now, or I want to try this game or this genre of video game. And that's how I always tell people, because I work for the government now. And they know that I stream. They're like, well, then they ask me the same questions. You know, why are you just watching people play games, or why are people watching you? I'm like, because it's funny. You have interaction with people. There's a chat. I mean, I know you guys all know this, and everyone that's listening probably knows this, but that's the like misconception of it. It's just people that are streamers. Like it's like, why are people watching you?
Yeah, there's the whole social aspect, and like you mentioned when we first started, was the community aspect of, you know, being able to be a part of a community, building a community, like just the social aspect. I mean, and we could talk about this here in a little bit, but the whole quarantine thing, it's been. I mean, I'm a very I like to go outside, man. I got ADHD, and so I get antsy, and especially when it's starting to get nice out, it's been really, really tough to like try to stay quarantined, you know, like.
Oh, I'm right there with you, dude. I got 4 kids.
Yeah, I luckily I don't have any kids, but I gotta run around. Yeah, and so it's just like the whole part of like being social is something that I think people on the outside of gaming and the community itself of Twitch don't see.
Yeah. And, you know, like I don't get salty about it when I explain it to people. I just inform them what I do, and they can, you know, do with it what they want. And there's actually people at my job that are, you know, in their like 50s that are like, yo, I'll throw you a follow, and what's the app called? And I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Like they have an open mind about it, and people that don't get it, they just don't want to get it. And that's fine too. Like I don't hate anybody or dislike anybody for not liking what I like.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. It's just like and I mean, I guess we could go into this a little bit. We could start with the coronavirus instead of, we were going to talk about games, but we could start with the coronavirus a little bit in the quarantine, since we're kind of talking about that whole community aspect. So let's take it over to Chuk here for a second. Chuk, what have you been? I mean, we communicate every single day. Chuk and I always are playing Xbox, we grind in Apex. Chuk's one of my buddies from college, so we're texting every day about podcasts, events going on, this and that. And Chuk, you seem like you're outside, doing your thing. Like, what have you been doing in quarantine to keep yourself from getting all kooky inside?
All kooky inside, huh?
Yeah.
Well, it's baseball season. Yesterday was opening day with no baseball, so I've been
Sad
we put up
day.
the cage. Yeah, we put up the batting cage. We got the mound ready. I started throwing some bullpens. So I've been outside doing some baseball to cope with it.
How's the wing feeling?
Oh, it's sore, man. It
Is
is
it?
sore. Yeah, for not throwing for as long as I did.
You having any tenderness or anything?
Nah, it's just like legit muscle pain after throwing 120 pitches.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah,
you're
just
gonna have
hanging
that
there.
after that many pitches.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I only threw like 40, but after surgery and everything, trying to get back into it, it feels like 120.
Got to ease into it, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Mm-hmm. So, Ghost, I know you said you had 4 kids. I'm sure they're keeping you busy in the quarantine, being that they're probably not at school, right?
They're homeschooled anyway. So they're home
okay.
all the time.
So you're used to it, I guess.
Them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my wife homeschools the three boys. My daughter just turned 1 on the 24th.
Oh wow. Okay.
So she's not schooling; she's just running around causing havoc and mayhem. But yeah, they want to go outside. They want to go to the park, the public parks.
Mm-hmm.
They have friends around the neighborhood, and it's real tough for them because they're not used to not being able to go outside, because they love going outside and playing with their friends and doing stuff in other people's backyards or going to the park, like I said. So it's more rough on them. Me, I like doing yard work. It takes me a minute to get into it. Like the first 20 minutes of yard work, I'm like, God, I do not want to be doing this right now. But after it's done, like you have that sense of pride. You're like, yeah, this looks good, dude.
Yeah.
I'm proud of myself.
Accomplishment. Yeah.
And it's actually like, it was getting nice. And then like 2 days ago, it snowed. I was like,
really?
all right, bro. Yeah. Just random. I woke up and there was snow in my yard, and I was like, "What? Like, I can't mow for like a week now."
You were mowing already?
I was going to, I was getting ready to,
okay.
because it was so nice, and then it started raining, and I could put it off for a couple of days because it's been real sunny here. But then it just snowed out of literally nowhere.
That's crazy.
I was like, okay, well, I guess we're gonna roll with this one.
Well, Chuk, didn't you just say it was like 31 up there at your place a couple days ago?
A couple days ago, yeah.
That's crazy.
A couple days ago, it was like
I just got off the
31
phone with my pap probably about an hour ago, and he asked me to go down and cut his lawn. I was like, I'm gonna milk this coronavirus thing as long as I can, so I don't have to come down there and mow your yard. But he said if anyone out there, if you need to keep healthy from the coronavirus, the number one thing that my pap said is you must drink vitamin C. Apparently that is Dr. Oz said it. Okay, so it's true. You must drink vitamin C.
Okay. Get down with some OJ.
Throw that into the diet.
Yeah. I told him I was going to start taking my vitamin C pills that I have on hand.
Oh, do you now? Just carry them around?
Yeah, I keep them in my pocket.
Times just like these.
Yeah,
In your fanny pack?
Yeah. Yeah, my fanny pack.
Don't knock the fanny packs.
I wear it like those millennials. Those young kids, they wear them across their chest now instead of their waist, like a normal human.
Oh, man.
Or I don't know if you want to. Let me rephrase this. Unless you're European, it's not normal to wear a fanny pack, and then to wear it across your chest, it's even weirder. Like, come on, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it's fashion nowadays. It's how they're wearing them.
They're bringing it back.
I think dad bods are in. I think they're still in. That's all I got to say. It's the only fashion I worry about.
Hey, as long as you're keeping up with the trends.
Oh, I'm there.
There you go.
All right, so quarantine has been a huge thing for people's daily lives, revolving around work, revolving around school for kids that are younger. I know myself, I'm stay at home right now. I'm working 5 days a week from my house. It's very difficult for me to get work done, to adjust to, like, when I'm at home, it's like my free time. That's what I'm so used to be. And so I just want to play Xbox. I just want to make stuff for the YouTube or try to get stuff on for the podcast. Like, I spend a lot of my time that I should be working probably. Well, before, I've been getting better at it this week, but getting adjusted to that, like, okay, I got to get my shit done at work because, well, I'm going to get fired if I don't.
Yeah.
While you're working at home, it's been a very difficult thing for me. Has it been for you, Chuk and Ghost? I mean, like, how are you guys? Like, you said you were working from home, Ghost. I don't know if it's been like a big change for you or how that's worked for your job at least. But like I said, for me, it's really hard. And I've been actually playing a lot of Xbox that, again, we'll get into. But, what's the changes in quarantine for that for you?
For me, it's actually I'm working longer now from home than I was at work because at work you have social distractions, like where you go, like you just go to the bathroom or you go to the snack bar or get like something to drink. People are wanting to talk to you, see how you're doing. So there's always that lapse in time because you end up just BSing with people for a long time. At home, like, it's just me and my work. I started working from home on, I think, Tuesday of this past week. Like last week, it was kind of weird because they're like, yes, we're doing telework where you work from home. I was like, okay, but it was real janky because they were waiting on the paperwork to go through and everybody to get approved, and you had to fill out slips because they made us take our desktops, our work desktops home because they don't have laptops for everybody.
Gotcha.
So like Tuesday night of this week, I worked from 6 a.m. to 3 a.m.
Holy hell.
And then woke up at 6 again. So I got like a 3-hour power nap, got logged back in. And then I worked until midnight on Wednesday and Thursday. And then today I actually stopped working at the normal time, which is like 3:30 for me.
Holy.
So I've been putting in some work. It's a lot of stuff that we had to get done that we needed our contractors for.
Gotcha.
A lot of stuff I can't talk about, but
sure, government job.
I had to make sure that it got done in the right time. And I know that they would be okay with stuff being kind of behind because of the disconnect, the military servers going down and coming back up and stuff like that. They get that. But for me, because I'm a contractor working for the government, I have to make sure that I'm doing everything I can to make them happy. So I was putting in the hours myself. Like, I'm not even logging the hours that I put in.
I was going to say, are you getting paid for those extra hours, or are you just doing it because you got to get your shit done?
Yeah, I have to get my shit done. And it's a good look for me, too.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And they know, like, my supervisors know how late I was staying up because I was logged in for so long, and they can track, like, how long you're logged in.
Gotcha.
And they called me. They're like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, well, we got to get these CDs out. They're like, are you okay? Because you just quit working 3 hours ago. I'm like, I'm good. I got coffee. I got my fucking my dip. I'm good to go. Let's rock and roll.
That's what's right
through.
There it is.
What do you chew on?
Grizzly.
Yes.
Flavor?
Wintergreen.
Yes.
At least you chew some wintergreen.
Yeah.
That's acceptable. I'm a Cope guy.
That's fine, man. Cope's too harsh for me, bro. I'm a baby. I'm a baby.
I have to say I'm a hybrid. I've done both, and I've, knock on wood, successfully quit, kind of. I've had a few slip-ups, but I've been doing well. I'm proud of myself. I've been doing well. I've been doing it since I was pretty young, and I'm 24 now. It's been a couple years since I started chewing. 18 when I started chewing, right? And yeah, I've been doing pretty well. Hopefully I kicked that bad habit. But moving into, again, we're back at the quarantine. How has the quarantine affected maybe your gaming and your streaming? So you said maybe not as much for you because you said you've been really, really busy at work. So at least Chuck maybe we can talk about this a little bit, and I can myself for sure, is how has the quarantine affected you?
Gaming.
Well, yeah, I could imagine with the schedule you just told us.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be gaming in that 3-hour gap that I'm awake. So,
I think you can get a couple sessions in.
Yeah. I could definitely get another mission in Doom done, dude.
My bad, Chuck. Go ahead, bud.
Yeah, sorry. So Chuck, like, what is like? Have you been playing more? Has it not affected your gaming? Like, what do you say?
I mean, I've been kind of treating it the same. I've been gaming the usual. We've been playing a little more Apex lately. We got a tournament coming up.
Big tournament.
Tomorrow, I believe.
About to clap some cheeks, bro.
Yeah, so we've been playing some Apex, getting ready for that. But for the most part, it's been about the same amount of video game playing, at least on nice days. On rainy days, it's been increased a little bit. But on these nice days, I've been outside playing catch, throwing the ball, so not too much different.
Is there a lot of social isolation for you, Chuck?
Yeah. I mean, I already live in a small town, so it's pretty barren here.
Really?
Like, you just don't see many people out. Yeah, it's pretty weird.
How
I
about
just
for
went to
you
the gas
guys?
station this morning, and it was like
Oh,
wild to see like 50% less cars
at the
like
gas
around
station?
town.
What, the one little
Like,
gas
just
station that you
driving
have?
around. Yeah, it's like usually the streets are like full with cars on the side street, and it's just not like that anymore. It's wild.
Is Warren like Youngsville?
Probably it's bigger. Probably
Well,
like
I'm
5 times bigger.
okay. Gotcha.
But yeah.
How about you, Ghost? Is it like have you been out at least at all when you're not working, I guess?
Yeah, I've had to make the store run every once in a while. You can just tell that everybody is like taking it seriously where I'm at, because we do have a couple cases around town. But yeah, you could definitely, it's like a ghost town at stores now, unless people absolutely go. It's the weirdest. Like, if you go at the same time every day, the same people are probably going to go there at the same time too. But yeah, gas stations are pretty, like, there's like 1 or 2. Like, they cut the staff down at the gas stations to like 2 people, when usually the gas station that I go to, they usually have like 4 or 5, because they run like you can get food there, like order food, and it's really
it's like
strange.
Sheetz.
Yeah, it could be. But grocery stores, we have a Winco here, and they have signs everywhere. Yeah, Winco.
What the hell is a Winco?
It's just a grocery store, but they have like bulk stuff. It's like a
Sam's Club.
It's like a poor man's version of Sam's Club.
Oh, okay.
Like, everything's like discounted, and they have like really good stuff there, but they have signs everywhere, keep 6 feet, wash your hands all the time, don't crowd people. And even there, that place is usually packed, and now it's like there's like 20 people in the store, and everybody's like apart, so it's kind of empty.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and everybody I'm seeing's wearing gloves too.
Oh, like, yeah, I've seen a lot of
all the workers, employees. Yeah,
even not non-employees, like customers.
No, really?
Walking that I see, yeah, they're all wearing gloves. And it sketches me out because I don't wear gloves. Like, should I start wearing gloves? Do I need to wear gloves?
You get paranoid.
Yeah, it's like driving down the road when it's raining out, and you check other people's windshield wipers to see if yours are going too fast or too slow for the like circumstances. Like,
am I doing this right?
Out about it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I talked to my both my cousins yesterday, and I have a cousin. She lives in New York, and she was like, because in New York they don't have like backyards, because she lives in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
So they have public parks for all the kids. And she's like, there's like giant signs that are like 4 feet tall, saying, listing, enter your own risk. These aren't cleaned every day. Could be contaminated. And when you're at the park, stay 6 feet away from everybody. And you can't really explain to a kid who's like 3 or 4 or 5, like you gotta wait, give him 6 feet so he can go down the slide. You can't be right up on it. Like you can't go right after him. You gotta wait.
Mm-hmm.
Or the swings or the monkey bars and stuff like that. And I was like, that is nuts. You said the stores are crazy, and in Brooklyn, there's a lot of like mom and pop restaurants and stores, like grocery stores.
Mm-hmm.
She said all those are closing down, or like not closing down, but shutting down because of all this. And the only thing that they're doing is they're doing like drive-throughs.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, they have one window on the store, and they can order food, and you can pick it up, but you can't go in and actually sit down and have that restaurant experience.
Yeah, it's crazy
And,
the distance that they're taking this social isolation, which I think is necessary, but I think it's crazy to actually like live it essentially instead of just
this
like
is part of it.
Yeah, this has never happened in
Yeah.
the world's history. An epidemic like this. It's nuts. So everybody's, doing what they can.
Yeah, all these people are taking precautions, and then I see people still traveling from Florida. From
Yeah.
spring
Oh
break.
yeah.
Like,
those
I saw
dummies.
that too.
Yeah, like you
I
have,
just turned 21. I'm gonna get drunk.
like it's stupid.
It's
You're
way
gonna
cooler.
die.
It's way cooler to sit at home and drink a beer and record a podcast than go to spring break, bro.
It really is, though. I mean, all the cool kids are doing it.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
So with the quarantine, I've been playing a lot. Obviously, with Chuck here, we've been playing. I feel like we've been playing a lot of Apex, a lot of gaming. I've had a lot more time because my work the transition has been rough for me because again, a lot of my work involves me going into work. So I have a lot of work that is they're trying to adapt me to being offline essentially to do work, whereas like other people in my work, other members have all kind of have that more offline work already before the quarantine and stuff. And so like I've been playing a lot of Apex, and Chuck and I have been playing Apex to train for this tournament and really get ready for it. And one thing that they threw at us earlier this week was the season split.
Tuesday, I believe, maybe Monday, but
that's what I gotta say.
Yeah, I finally made diamond, and then they kicked me back to gold.
Bro, I was so salty.
That?
I got on. You get in diamond. I'm just halfway through plat 1 up, getting there. We're now humble brag here, all right, Ghost. But Chuck and I have been tater fucking chipping on kids, all right, in Apex. We have been playing really, really well in Apex on World's Edge, and what do? Dump our rank down, and then like I love Kings Canyon. I'm all for it.
Just when we get used to World's Edge,
exactly.
We're starting to grind. We're starting to run it smooth. Kicks us back to Kings Canyon.
And it's been like you play it and you never played a game, like I'm sure you have, like I don't know what game it is for you, but like you get in a groove and you play it and you start doing well, and then you start feeding off the game from before and you play even better the next game, and then the better the next game. You know what I'm saying? Like you just get in that groove, and like, dude, I'm telling you, humble brag, Chuck and I were in that groove for like several, still in it, I have to say, when it comes to World Edge. But we went to Kings Canyon, man. Like, it's just not the same, Chuck.
Kind of took it away.
It's not the same.
It did. And we met a third, because usually it's just Fox and I running. But we met a third. Jesus took my VCR.
Yeah. It's a nutty name, bro.
But like, since we've been playing with him, we've been running it in Apex on World's Edge.
That's
awesome. World's Edge, and then have we played with him on Kings Canyon yet?
I don't think so. Not in ranked, because we played pubs to play World's Edge for this tournament.
That's right. What's your thoughts here on Kings Canyon? Have you played World's Edge, Ghost?
I played a little bit. That's when I stopped.
Okay.
When the new map came out, I think I played like a handful of games. I was like, I don't like it.
No.
I want to go back to Kings. That's my stuff, man.
So Chuck, what do you think of World's Edge going back to King Canyon? Well, going from Kings Canyon to World's Edge, now back to Kings Canyon for ranked play.
I mean, I like it. I wish, again, if you listen to our other episodes, I mentioned you should just queue up and it drops you into a random map. But I like it. But like you said, we were in a groove on World's Edge. We were starting to figure it out. We were starting to move around the map nicely. We were starting to hit shots. Like just World's Edge was it. And then they just put us on Kings Canyon and everything feels slow and choppy now.
Mm-hmm. So for all those novice Apex players out there, can you give us, Chuck, one piece of advice that has like been night and day for you to be better at Apex, especially on switching maps? Because I mean, like, gunplay doesn't change when you switch a map. So what can you say to a novice player that is trying to get better at Apex?
For sure use throwables. For sure use throwables. I mean, that doesn't change map to map either, but I feel like people don't utilize their throwables at all. Like, I feel like you use them the most out of everybody, and you can just bombard people with them and push them out of places. So I'd say use throwables and definitely get used to the rotations. You have to get used to rotations, especially when third partying is so huge in Apex.
Mm-hmm. So, Ghost, when you played, you played up until season 3 when World's Edge came out, you said, right?
Yeah.
So how immersed were you into the Apex world then?
Me, my buddy Gage and Matt, they're also streamers.
Can we get their tags?
We played, yeah, Bonekeeper, BONEKEAPER,
EA.
Yeah, EAPER. And then Matt's is Cholo Ren. It's XCHOLOREN. We played, like, when that game first came out, the first time I played with these guys was I met Gage Bonekeeper. I work with his mom, and he's old. He's like 27, or no, he's 23. Sorry. And he had a buddy, Matt Cholo Ren, and he's like, "Yeah, we stream too." And I was like, "Oh, that's perfect. Let's just knock this out. Let's play." And this is on Xbox. I don't play it on PC. My computer can't run it. But we played every day. We even did a 24-hour stream. Played like 9 hours of that 24-hour was Apex, and we just grinded, man. And to go back to what you're saying before about what you should do for the novice players or like the people that don't play that often, I'd say map knowledge. Go to a certain spot anywhere on the map, whether it's I can't even remember the name of on Kings now, but go to those places multiple times. Don't just go, like, even if it's a far stretch, I say stretch it. You have enough mobility in that game to make it work. But learn where the drops are at, the important drops, where the hot drops are at. Try doing hot drops, especially the high value drops. Like, yes, you're gonna lose sometimes. It's gonna happen. It's a game. But I think getting knowledgeable about the map and like where's some good loot or where's good cover, where's good rotating like lanes, I think that's also really important.
Yeah, I think map knowledge is one thing that's kind of overlooked in a lot of games, other than Siege.
Oh, you have to know the maps in Siege.
Map knowledge in Siege is the most important thing.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah,
have to.
And I will discuss here the new operations Void Edge of Siege here in a little bit, but to stay here on Apex, that's interesting that you say about the map knowledge, because I've never, I mean, it's important. I think everyone kind of knows it's important, but I've never heard it actually said. I mean, like I try to make YouTube videos that are educational in Apex or video games, like whatever game I'm into that time. And like I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and that is actually one thing that has never ever really came up in a video that I've watched. Maybe the next YouTube video, so stay tuned.
There you go. There you go.
But
I think it's really
interesting
important for any game, really. And I think I got the map knowledge thing. I really started paying attention to it when I started playing Siege. But a lot of BR players, they find one spot and they stick to that spot. That's their spot. Pachinki or whatever it was in PUBG.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
that was your
I played
spot.
PUBG a lot too. Well, that was my spot, but I also like to land other spots. Of course, it's all, where the drop's going, where the plane's going. But I think if you land at different spots that make you uncomfortable, you learn those spots. And you're like, okay, I know I can go here. There's either going to be, because if you land there multiple times, not every gun or weapon is going to be there at the same time. It's going to be random. But there is like an algorithm to it. Like, it's not going to say it's going to work for you, but you're like, if I land here, I know that there's going to be either a pump or there's going to be an Uzi. Or if you're playing Apex, there's going to be the Peacekeeper or there's going to be a Prowler. Like, if you learn that system, like, you're like, okay, this is actually like a higher value spot because I know I can get off a rip, get a Peacekeeper, and just shred. Because no one's going to have shield. No one's going to have anything right off the bat. And I think if you learn that, the game will become more enjoyable for you because you know things about the game that's honestly most players don't know because they're not into that mindset. I know it's going a little extreme if you're playing that much and you learn that, but if that's what you do and you want to make a living at it, like us, what we're doing, I think you kind of have to have the map knowledge in any game. Siege is what kicked it off for me though, is learning every map. And I was like, you could apply this to BRs. You could apply this to actually, it's only BRs and Siege, really.
Yeah. My mind's actually blown right now. I'm like in the midst of you talking, I'm trying to comprehend what you say in one ear, but in my other ear, my mind's racing about like, okay, where do I land in Apex? How do we land on tomorrow? Like, what are the routes that, like, I'm trying to like implement the map knowledge that you're saying because I am really like, I've never really thought of that.
Well, I think if you go like, I wouldn't change your guys' game plan now because you're a day out for the tournament. I think you guys play how you play, and just do your thing, man. Don't try to change it up now and overthink it.
Well, I think subconsciously, Chuck, you can maybe vouch for this. I don't know if you're in the same boat as me now, where it's like, oh, well, I got to think of this, but like, I think subconsciously we kind of came to that kind of conclusion, I guess you could say, by landing when we're on Void's Edge. We land Lava Fisher. We're either pushing Drill Site or we're pushing Skyhook. If they're shooting the third party, or if we have loot, or we're going to Drill Site and then going to train, or are we going straight to train? Like, what do you think, Chuck?
I mean, we fell into that. We like Ghost said, we fell into a place that we just land at repetitively every time because we know it like the back of our hand. So what Ghost was saying about the landing aspect of knowing map knowledge, I take it as land other places, explore other places. So if you get into battles at certain places on the map, you know where the high ground is. You know where cover is. So that type of map knowledge is where I thought you were coming from. I didn't even think about trying to figure out algorithms, figuring out where certain guns are going to land just for your landing. I was taking it as
cover and
learning the map, so you know where everything's at. So if you get into a battle there, you have the advantage because you know that height is going to be on this hill to the right, and they're going to be screwed because they're down there with no cover. So
yeah, an easy player, like if you're playing Pathfinder and you're running around, and it's not a tournament scenario. This is just like you playing. You guys just going out there and having fun. You're like, all right, I know that there's a shot going to be in this room right here, and I know there's a door down and to the left, and I know there's a ledge that I can grapple up on and get on top of this building. They're not going to follow. If you know that, like, I know you're not going to remember every friggin' spot because there's so many spots.
Right.
But if you know that, you got a game plan going into it, you're like, all right, we're going to go here, regardless of where we're getting, where the trajectory of the plane's going.
Yeah, that's usually how it is for us so far.
Yeah. But I think if you have that knowledge, you have, like you said, an upper hand, and it's not always going to work. You're going to get outgunned sometimes.
Oh,
it
100%.
happens. But if you have the knowledge, like, all right, well, I have a possibility of getting a Peacekeeper, like I said earlier, or a pistol. We're going to risk it, but at least I know that there's a gun, going to be a gun that's going to spawn here that I can actually do work with, or even shields or like good loot, like backpack or health. Like if you know that stuff, I think you will definitely have an upper hand on the lobby.
Agreed, 100%. I haven't thought about the algorithm either. Like you said, Ghost and Chuk. You said I didn't think. I was thinking of positioning as well. It's good notes. It's good notes to take right now. All right. So moving a little bit from what's that, Chuk?
Classes in session. Take some notes.
Yeah, classes in session. So moving from Apex to Siege now. We were talking about map knowledge and how important that is in Siege, but now blowing my mind how it is important in other games. Ghost, have you played Siege? I know you played Siege before, but have you played the new Operations Void Edge?
No.
Okay. Do you know
played a
anything
little bit
about
just before I got on here. I was playing with Skunka and Dr. Sonoras.
Oh, shout out to Doc.
All my OG friends that I've been playing with for a long time. I know that they redid Oregon, and I'm not happy about it.
No,
I've seen the map. I watched King George on Twitch. He's an ex-pro Siege player. I do not like the map. I think there's too many ways for them to hide. They made it open without making it open, if that makes sense. It's really weird.
No, there's a lot of corners for defenders to hide in.
And before, it was a great map. Like, they didn't really have to do anything with it. Same with the Canal. I don't think they should have changed that map either. But I'm just a player. They make the decisions.
Well, maybe when you make it as big as King George, you'll be able to have an input then. One day.
That's the dream. But the operators I dig. I can't remember what the female's name is.
Yana, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, it's spelled with an I. I know that. It's weird.
Okay. But I like her ability. I think that's dope. The decoy. Onyx, I think, is pretty cool because you can use your ability to jump up into an above hatch. I think that's
huge,
really useful, and it's awesome. He's awesome against shields, so those awesome Montaigne players and Blitz players are gonna have, they have a counter now that it's not as easy just to stand there, take bullets, and call out calls for your team. Like, he's right there, go around the corner and pop him from the left, or he's right there, shoot him from underneath. And stuff like that. So I think these two operators are actually really, really useful.
Yeah, I haven't played with either of them. I didn't have enough tickets yet. Renown. So I haven't played with, I played Yana on like the Gold Deagle game mode that they have, but I wasn't a fan, so I didn't continue to play it. But I think we've talked about it before on a past broadcast. I don't know, it might have been episode 3, but we talked about it right when Void's Edge was coming out. They announced it. They announced the operators. We talked about Yana and Onyx's abilities, and I've been watching a few YouTube videos. Like, I've been more involved in Apex than I have Siege recently, so I haven't watched a whole lot about the new operators. But I think the Onyx being able to jump hatches is a huge game changer. Like, I really like watching Pro League and stuff. I think that game, like, those players are just, it's crazy to watch. It's just crazy to watch,
nutty, dude.
And to see the things that they do. And I am so curious to see how they run Onyx metas with him on defense, because I just think there's going to be some really breathtaking plays in like really tough situations that you would not be able to do without him. Yeah.
100%. I don't think that they're allowed to use them because I think the season's going right now. I don't think they can use them after the tournament.
No, it would be next season, right?
Yeah, the next cycle for them. But just there's so many things you can think of that like you and I or Chuk would do with those characters. Like, I'm just gonna bum rush them and then knock them down, and you guys clean them up.
Yeah, exactly.
These dudes are gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna sit behind this soft wall. They're gonna go past towards the objective. I'm gonna bust through the wall and I'm gonna clean them up. Like, I can think that, executing that, different story. There's
But
no
are
way
you
that
really?
yeah, I'm gonna hit the hard part of the wall, knock myself down, and then I'm dead.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I foresee it going for me. But the pro players, yeah, I believe that those guys are gonna do some crazy stuff. And I mean, just the recon aspect of the female operator, they're gonna get so much more intel. Granted, one shot and the thing's gone, but their vision and how they play the game, they're gonna be like, oh, there's 4 here. If I was a user, I'd be like, I got shot from somewhere. I don't.
Yeah.
I think they're in that room. It's dead now. So.
Yeah, I think there's interesting. I think obviously they need to be worked out. It won't be this season. It'll be next season. You'll see all the how the operators are played by the pros, and because they're gonna come up with some nutty ass, strats and all this and that. That's what I love most about like Rainbow and Siege is just the strats and like just the creativity that players have, the coaches, the pro league players like have to create these strats. It just blows my mind. Blows my mind.
Oh yeah. I've learned new peaks and stuff from watching King George. I've learned like certain angles and certain like vantage points that before just playing casually, as a streamer, you want to be as good as you can be, but also, have fun to chat, but you want to give them a show and, try to impress them because that's, people are there to be impressed and see what you can do. But just watching like YouTube videos, King George, like learning different peaks, different routes to take in certain situations is also a good thing to do, is to learn. Like if you're playing secure, obviously board up everything, wall up everything. But if you're playing bomb, you're gonna want to have rotations if the spot calls for it. You don't want to board up or wall up everything and then not have a way out or a way in. And those are the type of things that you don't think about when you're just playing, just BSing with your buddies. But once you start watching videos, you're like, oh, that's really smart. Like, oh, I didn't know I could, hit that wall there and have it rotate around this doorway and I'm gone. Like if I need to get out, if I need to, exit. Right. So I think that's a pretty cool aspect of the game.
So this is just map knowledge again. Just knowing peaks, knowing just where to go. Because like you said, if you're playing bomb, you want a rotation hole out of somewhere. Yeah. So you don't get stuck somewhere. So I introduced Fox to Siege. I started playing Siege when it first came out. Like as soon as it came out, I played it, and then I got bored of it after the second set of operators dropped, which was, I think, Frost and Buck. Yeah, I think after those two dropped, it was either Valkyrie and
Blackbeard.
Blackbeard, one of those two sets. I played with both of them, and then I quit. Yeah. And then I re-picked it back up, and I got Fox back into it. And Fox got into it, and he started watching YouTube videos, like he said. And we'd get into a game, and I'd just be running around trying to put up a hard wall, and he'd yell at me not to do that, and then he'd blow it up, and I'd be like, why do that? Why are you doing that? And then he'd have to explain to me, like, we need to rotate in and out of here smoothly with not going through the main entrances. And I started playing so long ago, and I was like, wow, I never even thought of that. I always boarded up everything. So it's funny that you mentioned that, because Fox did introduce me to like showing me rotation holes, showing me how much map knowledge.
Not a big deal.
Yeah, came into play.
Yeah, I think the strats and everything that goes along with it. Like I love watching like Coconut Bra, King George. I watch King George myself. Coconut Bra on YouTube. There's actually a peak on Oregon that I learned from Coconut Bra from YouTube that was on the Oregon before the rework. That's still there. It's in it's in the bedroom that goes out towards like the main entrance spawn, and they run across the gate. Like you can still peek through one of the bedroom walls by punching a hole. It's a lot tighter. This one's a lot tighter, so it's like more of like a pixel angle, whereas the last one it's kind of like you had a pretty big window comparatively, but yeah, I think you mentioned Oregon earlier in the rework, and all the I think the corners that all the defenders can peek in is it's gonna be an issue. It's gonna be
It's
an issue.
overwhelming.
It is very overwhelming.
Because you go into it, if you're on offense first, and you're just like, and it goes back to map knowledge. You're like, all right, not everyone's gonna know the map right away. There's a lot of people that haven't played it yet, even still. And like me, I haven't played it. I've only watched. Like I am dreading the moment that I go into that game again and go to Oregon because I'm like, I want my baby back. give me the old one.
Have you played the map yet, Fox? The rework?
Briefly. I mean, we've been playing a lot of Apex, so I haven't played a lot of Siege, but I have played it maybe like a handful of times. I think it will eventually. I don't think they ruined the map. Like Canal is what I've heard because I only recently started playing it, as I think Chuk mentioned, but I wasn't here before Canal, so I've only ever played the rework basically. Whereas I played Oregon. I loved the map before. I think it was a well-established map. I think it was a well-rounded map for attackers and defenders. And the reason that I heard that Ubisoft decided to do a rework was because everything was kind of found out about Oregon. There was nothing to still find out. There's no peaks really to find out. Everything was kind of found out. So that's why they decided to change it. Not because it was a bad map or needed all these exploits could happen for an attacker versus a defender. I do think that this map is now going to be defender heavy, and it's going to be exploited exponentially until there are some kind of changes with attacking, because it is going to be, I think it's going to be very difficult to attack. Even in the basement, you can't do those little exploits like if they have a mute jammer on the hatch in the main lobby there, and you decide to blow up the wall with thermite next to it, the hatch, it still blows the hatch. Or with Habana, you can blow a hole in the little corner because the mute jammer isn't there. The hatch is on the other side of the wall or other side of the floor now. You can't do that wall exploit. You can't. I don't think you can do that Habana exploit. I don't know. I haven't tried. Maybe you can. But other than that, that was really the hardest. The only advantage at least attacking in the basement on Oregon on the original map that I ever saw when it came to actually well-organized defenders and well-organized attackers. You know what I mean? Like if you get in a map with defenders that are chumps, okay, it's easy to attack, sure. But with well-organized defenders, those are difficult positions. But they are doable with attacking if you have certain strats. Maybe those strats just have to be found out, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that comes with every rework. You're going to have to learn the map again, and then learn where you have a pixel peak, because that's people are going to do. And I foresee, because they're doing this game until, and then they're done. I foresee a rework of Bank. Yes. I'm calling it now because, like you said before, with Oregon, everything's been found out, and that goes because Oregon's an OG map. That map's been in there since the game came out.
Okay.
Bank is the same. If you're going back alley, you know that you have the door to your left. You can just pre-fire and you can shoot through that angle into the little lunchroom area where cubicles are. And then up top, if you got Glaz on the far windows, back when his scope wasn't the timed like it is now, where you have to sit still for so long. Before, it was just solid yellow, you could see everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was solid. As soon as you brought it up, you saw their yellow. You're like, oh, that's a player. And before, with Glaz, when it first came out, solid yellow, and even if you would eliminate an opponent, they would still glow yellow. So it was always very confusing because you'd have a dude laying down that you didn't know it was already taken out, and you just shoot the body, and you're like, oh, that guy's already gone. But then they reworked it to where yellow when he's alive, and then when you eliminate him, they would just go dark. Now they have the 5-second little ticks on the sides of your scope You can kind of see at the very beginning, it gets a little bit brighter, a little bit brighter, a little bit brighter. But as soon as you move, it goes away, and you got to redo the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they kind of nerfed that character, because I was a glass main when me and my boys were playing it when it first came out.
Huh.
I only played glass on offense. Didn't matter the map. If it was plain, if it was favela, I mean, any map.
Both
That's
those maps that you just mentioned, by the way. Those are the two worst maps.
Because people would forget that if secure was center of the plane where the main cabin's at, glass is the only one that can shoot through those windows, those window panes.
Oh, really?
And I would get 13 kill games every game, because if it was in the center, they would just stand up and walk or crouch. I'm like, no, bro, you got to lay down here, or I'm taking your head off.
Huh, yeah. Interesting.
And then as soon as Clash came, that killed glass for me. I'm like, I can't do anything. Like, I can shoot through Air Force One's double or quadruple pane glass, but I can't shoot through her little plexiglass thing and like injure her. But she's gonna shock the shit out of me from 50 yards away. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, all right.
I don't know why Clash was ever an addition to the game.
Worst character ever.
But easily when they did the temporary ban of her where she was like deactivated or disabled, phenomenal. The game was phenomenal. They put her back in, and it's like, who the fuck are you playing as Clash? Like, what the hell?
Did you not get hugged enough as a kid? Like,
exactly. Oh, that's funny. So I think we're coming to the end here. It's been an hour. It's been an hour. It's crazy. Time
flies.
Flying. Ghost, where can we find you? What's your plugs? Or you're on Twitch? Or you're not on Mixer, right?
No.
Okay. What are your plugs, man? Where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, all at AzGhostt with 2 T's. And also twitch.tv/AzGhostt with 2 T's.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys are listening, come check it out. Come hang out. Come join the AZ family. We have a good time, man.
I will vouch.
Thanks for letting me be the first guest on your guys' podcast. It's so dope.
Honored to have you, man.
No problem, man. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Honored to have you. We appreciate having you. It's great to have another voice in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think people are getting sick of just Chuck and I.
Yeah. I hate you, dude. Get out of here.
I know, I'm getting sick of them.
I can't even see your face right now.
Yeah.
I'm cringing.
I want to punch you in the face.
Yeah, that's where our friendship's at.
Exactly.
I think that's how it always gets, guys.
Kind of.
Trust me, trust from an older statesman.
Yeah, the boomer.
You boomer.
Young age of 32. Yeah, that happens. But man, this was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah,
I've actually been really fortunate. Like, I did the other podcast last weekend. I'm doing this one today now.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of wild. Like, I didn't think anybody would want me to do it, but I was just like, hey, if you need somebody, I'm here. I like to talk.
So you did your other one last Saturday, you said. Was that your first podcast you've done?
That's the first podcast. My wife has a podcast.
Oh, okay.
Parenting.
Can we get a shout out?
Yeah, let me get her. Her name's kind of long, her podcast.
Oh, okay.
And I can't remember it, and I'm a bad husband. So. Her podcast is, if I can freaking bring it up. Talk so much yourself. I'm searching.
Where can we find the podcast? Spotify?
Spotify, iTunes. She's on iTunes.
You can also find this, those of you that are, I put this on my YouTube, but those of you that find this on YouTube, you can find this free on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Stitcher if you're on Android. Anywhere you can get a podcast, you can find us at Dark Purple PRPL podcast on any of those platforms.
Okay, my wife's is the Paradigm Shift Parenting Podcast. It's on iTunes, Google Podcasts, and Spotify.
Interesting.
She also has a YouTube channel where she does video podcasts. She has the video of the podcast that she puts on YouTube, and then on the other sites, it's iTunes and all that is the audio. But it's all about parenting, betterment of yourself, like what's going on in the world. And she does that. I've been on her podcast like twice, but other than that, that's kind of easy because, I talk to my wife every day.
Sure. It should be.
But I don't like her that much. But last week was like the first podcast that I did. I introduced myself and gave out my, my shout outs to all my stuff. So this is my second one, and it's been fun, man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's been an honor to have you. I'm glad that you could join us, and I'm honored to have you. So, Chuck, where can we find you, man? I know they're getting tired of it, but where can we find you?
So we're gonna be recording our next podcast after this tournament this weekend of Apex. Really, really excited for that. Maybe Fox might stream it. I don't know. Maybe
Hopefully, we come back with some good news.
Well, we're gonna be talking about that, and you can find me on all socials at HunchochukK.
HunchochukK. So
again.
So thank you for joining us tonight, Chuck, as well as always. This is PRPLxFox, PRPLxFox, your other co-host on Dark Purple Podcast, and that is it tonight, and we are signing out. Deuces.